Hey, this is Sean Buck, real estate broker here in the Fort Worth, Dallas Metroplex, and we've got Mike McCoy, Assessor Bank, also a mortgage broker. Mike?
Yeah,
Uh,
thanks, Sean, for having me here. The purpose of what we're doing this video for is to give buyers understanding of what's being required when you get a secure mortgage loan. And before you do that, it's a good idea to get your documents prepared ahead of time. And I will suggest doing this process before you start looking at homes with Sean and his team. It sets the proper expectation. You get your payments in line, and you know how much cash you're going to need to meet your goals. So I'm going to share this screen real quick, and this will kind of give a visual of what is needed. And generally, whether I help you or any lender basically in America that you would come across is going to really ask for step one, for you to complete a loan application. Not only does that give the lender the information that they need on your employment, your living situation over the last 2 years, it's going to ask you about divorces, bankruptcies, child support. There's a lot of things that are in there that we wouldn't know if the applicant didn't put it in the application. Step two is going to be the mountain of financials and documents that we're going to need, and that list is right here. So driver's license, 2 years of W-2s and tax returns, 30 days of pay stubs, 2 months of bank and brokerage retirement statements. Obviously, you're going to need a purchase contract that's forthcoming. And then earnest money, insurance. There's some other things that will happen kind of secondarily to once you're under contract. But I'll kind of reiterate on this is just um, to be fair and honest, the securing a mortgage and getting pre-qualified is not the fun part, but it's also super necessary. I think there's something like 87% of all home buyers are getting a mortgage. So everybody's doing it, and we can jump in and all have fun together.
yeah, so part of this too. So as a disabled vet, you're going to want to put in if you're getting any type of VA compensation, disability ratings. This also helps with like how much tax or no tax or what, depending on your rating, you get additional benefits on your taxes, at least here in Texas. So these all go into that calculation that Mike, or like you said, any lender that's going to require this. So the more information you give up front, specifically when you're having consultations with us as the real estate brokers and real estate agents, we want to make sure that you're teed up, you're squared away, because with the way the changes have been made, we got to have all this squared away before we even go see houses.
That's right.
Uh, so we got to know that that all the T's are crossed, all the I's are dotted, and then we know our partnership with Mike and his team. If something goes right, we can pick up the phone, get things squared away, because it's time is of the essence, especially once we get under contract. So there's different
Right.
phases of that, and there's a different video on that. But you know, we don't want you don't want the realtor or me coming back and be like, hey, the lender's saying we don't have this document or that document. So having all this right up the gate where we can upload it securely through his portal, just it just simplifies the process, especially if we're back in a market where we're having multiple offer situations.
Yeah.
You've fully gone through underwriting versus basically having a simplified version of a pre-approval. So can you talk briefly about like what that is?
Yeah, so good point. And I'll say before I answer that, please don't skip the steps. That can rear its head into so many different things that put you at risk, put you at contract and money at risk, in terms of, just make sure you're fully transparent with your lender because they're going to find it. And it may be sometimes too late to be able to get you out of a contract. So Sean asked what the difference between pre-qualified and pre-approval. Some lenders use those words interchangeable. For us, pre-qualified is basically a watered down version. That would be in simplicity, an application and a credit review. We do the second step to that where we actually review income, assets, financials, fully underwrite the loan, and then have a full consult with you to make sure that what you've applied for is what you want to pay for, or that you can pay for. Because we find there's a large despairing difference between what you can qualify for and what you want to pay for. And I do think that's a positive. That's a good thing, that you don't want to pay for, always what your max qualifications are.
Sweet. Well, check out the rest of our videos. Obviously, we have a great relationship with Mike and his team. Refer them highly. And we just appreciate your time watching the video and learning more about the process. So thanks, Mike. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Sean.